In getting started in discussing whether or not self-realization fellowship could be a good path for you to follow, let me first mention that I am not an employee of Self-Realization Fellowship, and I am simply a follower and a practitioner of their program and their meditations. So with this being said, let me ask you a few questions to help identify if this path could be a good one for you. Number 1, are you looking for a spiritual path to follow? Are you looking for a path that doesn't have any real dogma or fire and brimstone speeches in it? Are you looking to establish a closer connection with God? And finally, are you interested in learning how to meditate in a manner that can bring tremendous peace to you and have you feeling much closer with God? If your answers to these questions are yes, then in my opinion, there's a good chance that Self-Realization Fellowship's program could be a good one for you. So with this in mind, what I would recommend that you do is study some of Paramahansa Yogananda's teachings and or listen to some of the talks given by the Self-Realization Fellowship monks and nuns on the Self-Realization Fellowship YouTube channel. And as far as studying some of Yogananda's teachings, I'm going to mention some potential resources for you here. Perhaps one of the fastest ways to learn whether or not Paramahansa Yogananda's teachings and philosophy would be a good fit for you would be to buy his book titled Man's Eternal Quest, which features a good number of talks and essays from him on many different subjects. And each of these talks and essays are only 1 page to several pages in length, so you can read each one in just a few minutes. Some of the subjects for these talks and essays include how reincarnation can be scientifically proven, prayer is a demand of the soul, healing by God's unlimited power, the cause and cure for nervousness, how to read a person's character, who made God, what is a successful life, creating and destroying habits at will, and the true experience of spiritual ecstasy. In addition, if you've been a student of the Bible, and most specifically the New Testament, I highly recommend Yogananda's book, The Yoga of Jesus, in which he gives his own deep interpretation of the New Testament, and he really makes spiritual passages from the New Testament come alive with much greater and deeper spiritual meaning than I've ever recognized that these passages contained. Then, of course, there is Yogananda's very highly acclaimed book, Autobiography of a Yogi, which is what first got me to begin walking down the path of taking the Self-Realization Fellowship lessons and learning the meditations, and doing this has been one of the most positive, amazing, transformative, and life-changing experiences of my life. In Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda shows us the challenges that even he, as a highly evolved spiritual being, had to face as a human being living among us here on earth. And he introduces us to people he encountered along his journey who were quite amazing spiritual practitioners themselves, possessing tremendous metaphysical abilities. Reading this book really opened me up to an entirely new world of what is possible spiritually, and it showed me that there is so much more continually going on from behind the scenes in our world spiritually too. So these are my recommendations to help you determine if Self-Realization Fellowship would be a good spiritual path for you to pursue. And again, consider watching and listening to the talks given by the SRF monks and nuns on the Self-Realization Fellowship YouTube channel. And consider reading one or more of the SRF Yogananda books titled Man's Eternal Quest, The Yoga of Jesus, or Autobiography of a Yogi. Having been reading these books myself and beginning learning and practicing the SRF lessons and meditations since the year 2010, I can honestly say that my experience in doing so has been tremendous. It has greatly transformed my life and my feeling of peace and closeness to God, and I could not imagine my life now and moving forward without continuing on with these outstanding meditations and practices. So hopefully, if you're considering Self-Realization Fellowship as a potential spiritual path for you, I've given you some tools and insights to help you to explore and to help you in making your decision in moving forward. With this being said, I wish you all the best of happiness, peace, love, and success on your spiritual journey.